What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Saturday tournament, and if you haven't seen one of these before, it's been a couple weeks since I've done one. What it usually is game one, or the first video, is an introduction to the deck. We profile the deck, you see what it is, you see how it works, and everything like that. The second video is round one, and then it's round two, and then round three. There's three separate videos, and so that way, if you just want to skip ahead to the finals, you have the option if you want to. Usually the first couple games aren't that competitive because, you know, it's the first round of the tournament. You kind of just get matched with whoever decides to play for the tournament. About round three, they have to be able to defeat the first and second player to make it into the finals, which might make it a competitive match. Sometimes they're not competitive, but sometimes they are competitive. And since, you know, the games are such a long time now, they take like 10 to 15 minutes per match, just for the Saturday tournaments. It's kind of hard to film these, especially if you do lose in the early rounds, but hopefully we can win those three games, and it'll be good to go on the first try. So we'll see what happens today. Do we win the three games or not? It's a big question, like always. But today we are looking at the Tyrantrum deck. Now, I know we have showcased this deck before, or I think maybe Fan Friday or Main Deck Monday. I'm not sure which one it was. Or Expanded Thursday. It could be any of those. But this time around, we're actually looking at Jonathan Perenata's list that he used to win Vancouver Regionals, like about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. It was the last weekend Jonathan won with the Tyrantrum deck, which kind of came out of nowhere. There was a player named Russell Lepar who was actually playing it 2 weeks before, and he had, I think, maybe 2 weeks or a week before, and he had a good showing with it. Everybody thought he was gonna make top 8, and he kind of whiffed on us. Russell, you whiffed on us. What were you doing, Russell? But luckily, Jonathan picked up the pieces and actually won it with Tyrantrum, so congratulations to him. It's cool to see kind of, you know, a new concept deck win a tournament. And let's go over Tyrantrum. We've been talking about him, and let's see, what does Tyrantrum do? It has 180 HP, which is a, you know, just a regular EX thing. But it has the ability Despotic Fang. Damage from this Pokemon's attack is inflicted by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. And oh my goodness, I just realized something. If you're watching this video and you watch round one, you'll see what I'm talking about. I just kind of messed up there. Kind of forgot about something, but that's okay. People in the comments will say what it was, and I forgot about Despotic Fang. Alright, but whatever. So it's not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so you don't have to worry about Suicune, Sigilyph, Regice. You all can knock them out with the Tyrantrum, which is great. Then it has the attack Dragon Impact, which is 190 damage, which, like I said, 180 HP is usually the max for EX Pokemon, of course. There's Wailord with 250 sitting over there, always looking at us saying, haha, I almost won the Nationals and at 250 HP. But forget Wailord, don't look at him. Just if Wailord is looking at you, just kind of don't look at him. But Dragon Impact 190. It's a strong attack, but you have to discard 3 energies attached to this Pokemon, which is the only downside for sure. You got discard, you know, 3 energies, and you got power Tyrantrum back up, and it's a constant cycle. But Jonathan did it, and we'll show how that is possible today. Then there's a lot of, it's definitely a techie toolbox deck. So let's go over everything as quickly as I can. Your first tech supporter is Hoopa, Scoundrel Ring. You're not going to use Hyperspace Fury, don't worry about that. But when you put Hoopa down from your hand onto the bench, you search deck for 3 Pokemon EX. And of course, these Pokemon you're going to look for is Keldeo. And if Keldeo has the Russian ability, once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on the bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So you can rush in and then Metalinks with the Bronzong onto your Keldeos. You're good to go. And I mean, your Metalinks to Tyrantrum, not to, I don't know what I said, but you're gonna Metalinks to a Tyrantrum to repower it up. Then you can retreat since you haven't retreated for the turn and attack with Tyrantrum once again. And also with the Hooper, you're gonna grab it, like I said, Keldeo, Tyrantrum, and a Shaman. You know, it helps set up. You put it down, draw it. You have 6 cards. Just a very consistent card, and it's cool because Hoopa basically acts as an Ultra Ball and a draw supporter through Shaman, which is great. Now the deck also plays Giratina. And this can be used for multiple things. First off, the ability Renegade Pulse, it says prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Mega Evolution Pokemon. So if you're playing against a Mega deck like Rayquaza, like Mega Manectric, like Groudon, like Kyogre, Gardevoir, I'm trying to think of all of them. I think that's all the main ones off the top of my head. Mega Sceptile, somebody, I know, you're gonna say Mega Sceptile, and you know who I'm talking about. If you're watching this video, you're gonna say I play Mega Sceptile, and I'm looking at you. I know what you're talking about. But you can Renegade Pulse it, or the ability makes it where they can't hurt you by Megas, and Chaos Will, which is a strong attack, 100 damage, which it's decent. 100 damage is fine. You're two-shotting EX, but your opponent can't play any tools, special energy, or stadium cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. And this is going to be great against decks that need DCs, like Vespa Queen, like Flareon, like Night March. You can just Chaos Will and win them that way. You have so many options to beat decks with this Giratina, and as well as Tyrantrum to beat everything else. So it's a cool combo. As you see, there's a 2-2 split, just in case you really don't know what you need. And in certain situations, you're going to need Tyrantrum. Certain situations, you're going to need Giratina. And you just kind of pick which one you need for the turn. Now, there's other stuff in the deck. If you notice, Tyrantrum needs 4 energies. If you notice, Giratina needs 4 energies. So you're not attacking on the first turn, no matter what. So you need somebody to wall, and that's going to be Aegislash. Usually Aegislash can wall with the Mighty Shield ability, making it where special energy Pokemon cannot hurt you. And usually the decks that attack only first turn, you usually play like DCEs, and those decks are like Evital. They could attack you with 2 Dark Energies, so they Dark Patch, but they could DCE and Dark Patch. There's Mega Rayquaza that needs a DC and an energy, but they could double Mega Turbo and attach an energy. Night March, they need a DC usually, unless they're Mew energy. I'm just trying to think of all the ways. Vespa Queen, if it goes first, it gets down to Force Giant Plant, to the DCE, a Mighty Shield. There's a lot of stuff that Mighty Shield can do, and so it's great. And also, you could use Slash Blast. If you're playing against a Seismitoad deck, Aegislash might be the way to go if you can't get your Bronzongs out early enough, and then you can tank with Mighty Shield, set up Pokemon, and maybe Slash Blast, 40 and 20 more damage for each Metal Energy attached to this Pokemon. What else is there? Bronzong, Metal Links, you attach a Metal Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Bronzor, of course. You play the 70 HP one just because it has more HP. You could play the other ones, but you don't play Lava Ball or Heavy Ball, so there's no real reason. One Cobalion. And this is great to Righteous Edge. If you are playing against some kind of Giratina deck and they are just leaving the energy on the active spot, you could Righteous Edge, discard it off the active Pokemon. I actually don't like Cobalion that much in the deck, just because you have so many outs already to beat Seismitoad and Giratina and all that cute stuff, but Cobalion is a way to discard those special energies if you need to, just in case you don't have the wins for sure. And that's all the Pokemon in here. There's 70 Pokemon. That's, it seems like a lot, but nowadays it's pretty standard. Decks are, if they're not just like very simple line like Seismitoad Garbodor or Seismitoad Giratina, but even like Seismitoad Giratina, you got 4 Seismitoad, 34 Seismitoads, we'll say 3, 3 Giratinas, 2 Giratinas, we'll say 2, we'll just do low cal, so that's 5, Keldeo, 6, Hoopa, 7, 4 Shamans, so that's 11. Just right there, that's 11 out of the Seismitoad Giratina deck. So usually decks are 11 to 18, 19, which is kind of weird, It's kind of high. I think it's high. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy and it's not too high. But whatever, that's all the Pokemon in the deck. 1 Battle Compressor, and this way you can discard your Metal Energies, your Supporter cards, Pokemon you don't need. The main thing is you're going to discard your Metal Energies and Supporter cards you need, or you need to discard maybe to reuse Reverse Seeker, or you can Metal Links with it. Computer Search just for consistency. 1 Super Rod to get back 3 Pokemon. You could play Sacred Ash to get back more Pokemon, but with Super Rod you have the option to get back the Fighting Energy that you play in the deck. And most times you're just getting like 1 or 2 cards, maybe like a Tyrantrum and a Keldeo that decide to License or knock it out. Okay, so 4 Ultra Ball just for main consistency and searching for Pokemon. You gotta get those Bronzors and Bronzongs out some way, because Hoopa cannot search for non-EX Pokemon, it's only for EX Pokemon. 4 VS Seekers to reuse all your supporters. 1 AZ to pick up a Pokemon, but you do have to discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. Now, this could be used to pick up maybe a damaged Tyrantrum. You pick up a damaged Tyrantrum, set up a Keldeo, attach a double Dragon Energy and double Metal Links. That could be a possibility. And if they license or something up and you don't have a Keldeo, you could, you can AZ pick it up. That way, if you don't have any Floatstones, 3 Colors, because your bench is going to fill up very quickly turn 1. Because the odds of you pricing like the 1 Hoopa is fairly low. So it's gonna be easy for you to Ultra Ball turn 1 for the Hoopa. There's 60 cards. It's 1 out of 60. I don't know the odds on top of my head. Or it's like Is it 6 out of 60? I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know, 1 out of 6 out of 60. I don't know how you figure that out. But whatever that percentage is, it's pretty low since it's only a 1 out of 60 cards. And you got 6 chances to do that. Alright, then you got the 1 Hex Maniac, shutting off all abilities from your opponent's side of the field. And, I mean, there's some cool plays you could do, because it's not until the end of your turn. So if you Hex Maniac, you can shut down your opponent's Shamans, their Aromateas, their own Bronzongs, anything. After you use all your abilities, you can Hex Maniac, shut it down, just depending on the situation. 2 Light Center, bring a Pokemon off the bench. 1 End, 3 Juniper, discard your hand, draw 7, and we know what that does. That's too long to explain. 1 Xerosic, and this is just, you know, once again, helps out even more against Seismitoad since it is such a big deck and expanded. Choose a Pokemon tool or special ninja card attached to Pokemon in play, yours on your opponent's, and discard it. And this could discard Headringers off your Tyrantrum if your opponent does discard one, or does attach one early to your Tyrantrum, so you could Xerosic it off. Now, we talked about Giratina and how when you Chaos Will, you make it where your opponent can't put down any tools, special energy, or stadium cards, and that's where Faded Town actually comes into play. At any time between turns, put 2 damage counters on each Mega Evolution Pokemon, which gives you the option to 2-shot a Mega Rayquaza if possible if you don't have a Muscle Band, because you can do it with 100. Faded Town puts it at 20, they can't get rid of it. Coming back to you, they're at 140, and then you can Chaos Will to knock it out, which is great. And they actually can't hurt you unless they play like their own Hex Maniac, which a lot of Mega Rayquaza decks do, but besides that, Groudon probably does. Mega Miniature probably does. They all probably play their own Stadium cards, or own Hex Maniacs, what I'm talking about. But just locking the Stadium in play is great for you. Next up, 2 Skyfield, so that way you can fill your bench up and discard stuff. Like, let's say, turn 1, you get down the Skyfield, you put down the Hoopa, you put down the Shaman, and then you put down another Shaman, maybe, and then they bump a Stadium. You can just discard the Hoopa and the 2 Shamans because you're really not going to need them for the rest of the game. 3 Flowstone to give your Keldeo free retreat and anybody else, just in case you do prize the Keldeo. Now, you do play 2 Muscle Bands as well, and this is to actually help out, like I said before, to help, you know, Giratina 2-shot stuff. You're doing 120 times 2, 240. And also, if you do play against a Mega Manectric deck, you also have the capability right now to Dragon Impact 190 plus 20, 210, which one-shots them, which is great. And anything else that's 210, you could knock them out with Tyrantrum. 4 double Dragon Energies, 1 Fighting, and 7 Metal Energies. Now, if you don't know, double Dragon Energy provides any 2 types of energy while attached to a Dragon Pokemon. So, let's go back to the very, very beginning of the deck. Let's talk about Tyrantrum once again. Dragon Impact, discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. So, the concept is going to be this. You're going to Metal Links per the turn. Okay, so what you're going to have... Okay, what we're going to do is you're going to Dragon Impact. You're going to discard a double Dragon and a Metal Energy while leaving a Metal and or Fighting on the Tyrantrum. It doesn't really matter. And then next turn, what you're going to do is rush in, attach another double Dragon Energy and Metal Links onto the Tyrantrum, and then you can retreat. And that's how we're going to continuously Dragon Impact over and over again to take all 6 prizes if that does happen. And that's how you're going to win the game. You're like, but you only play 4 double Dragon Energies. Well, the situation is, once you discard all 4 double Dragon Energy against EX decks, you should win. Because you only have to knock out 3 EX Pokemon to win the game. So that's why, I mean, it's great. It's a very easy concept to understand. And against other decks, like I said, Vespiquen and Flareon, you can just attack with the Giratina. Anything that's single prize attackers, you just attack with Giratina. Because most of the decks, they need a DCE. You know, Raichu, Flareon, Vespiquen. The only deck that doesn't play DCEs that might just maybe give some trouble is Donphan. But even then, if you get an early Giratina, they can't put down the tools, they can't put down the fighting stadiums, they can't put down the DCs to wreck you, so you constantly just license them up, knock them out, which is great. And you actually don't knock them out because they have 130 and you're hitting for 120. Okay, so maybe early game you smack with a Cobalion. I don't know. Donphan would probably be your worst matchup off the top of my head. Anything with Garbodor is probably a bad matchup. You do play the 1 Xerosic and 4 VS Seeker, but even then, I don't think it's going to be that helpful. Say like Garbodor might give this deck some trouble. It just depends on how they play. I don't know. It's definitely a great deck overall. It has some bad matchups, like I said. Maybe Donphan, say by Garbodor. You should be able to beat Seismitoad, Garbodor, just because you have the Cobalion, you have the Giratina, you have all this cute stuff, and you do have this Xerosic. to help out against Garbodor. I'm not sure how helpful it's going to be against that, but that's the deck. I know this introduction is probably really long, and I explained a lot about this deck. I just like, make sure everybody knows we're on the same page here. We know what the deck does. But hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next video, you'll see round 1 of the tournament, then the next video, round 2, round 3. But hopefully you have a great Saturday. If you're watching this video, if you're at the end of this introduction, thank you for staying around for such a long time, watching me ramble on about a deck that most people know what they do, but if you don't know what it does, this video does help you a lot. But thanks for watching. Have a great Saturday. Alrighty. Bye. Or, not bye. We'll just see you in the next video. And then after 3 videos, we'll say bye. Okay. Alright. See you in the next video.